Hello folks, it's Blue, and today I'm reviewing Ocean City Racing, a game that could have fooled you into thinking it was from the PS2, because it is just hideous on every level. To start it off, for first impressions, you'll see your main menu, which looks like it could have been done by a 2-year-old. It's big, blocky letters, clearly gotten off of fonts.com, and the cursor could have been made in paint. So, to show it off a little bit, the music isn't great either. You have your buttons, and you go into options. Note the complete lack of volume options anywhere. And that's the case everywhere. There aren't volume options anywhere. So if you don't like that music, you gotta suck it up and deal with it, because you ain't changing it. The only options you get are some resolutions, windowed mode, and the color depth. Basically, the only thing you'll be changing is your resolution to whatever your monitor's resolution is. Then you're never going back there again. I believe there is nothing left to mention here. Actually, yes, there is, sorry. You'll see that in race mode, and this is the same in the time trial, you have two options, continue or new game. There's no way to redo a race you've done in the past if you want to. You'd have to do every race before it. And trust me, once you've played this, you're going to just close it up and not want to play anymore, ever. So, you kind of waste your time at it. This game really does ooze lazy developers. A good example of it would be right here. This. The poorly rendered dog model to begin with, but as soon as I start this video bit I've captured before, you will see the problem. He couldn't even be bothered to fully animate the dog. Look, it just stops there, and then it does the animation every time. It's hideous. On another note, if you listen closely once I shut up, you'll notice that the dog sound probably came from a dog in this guy's neighborhood that he just held a microphone out of the door and got the sound. Doesn't it? It sounds like it came from someone's backyard. It's just a really bad sound. Then, going into the next thing, you have your race mode. This is where the major flaws of Ocean City Racing come in, and these transfer over into every mode. First off, the cars are, if you look closely, they look exactly like they came off a model shop, and the guy just chopped off the logos for the brands, because they're so blatantly the exact car. I mean, really, that's a Maserati that you're in. You've got the Alfa Romeo a bit up, a Porsche that's blatantly a Porsche without a logo. One really majorly noticeable one is definitely the fake Mercedes. I'll show that in a few moments. Now, the problems come in almost immediately when you notice if you turn, look, you just bap into it. Nothing. It doesn't move, nothing moves. Then, the cars don't handle. You brake, they don't slow down much. They hit everything, no matter what car you're in. The only way to make a sharper turn is using your handbrake, and even then, it's quite hit or miss, because the handbrake has a tendency of completely spinning you out. Oh, and right back there was another thing. If I just back it up a little. Whoops, too far. Sorry. You will notice that with no effort whatsoever, my car just flipped the other car right out of the way. Oh, there's that Alfa that I was talking about before. You'll notice, though, that it just flipped out of the way. These cars have no weight whatsoever. They spin on a dime, and it's just, the handling is hideous. That's the only thing I have to say. Another issue many people, including myself, would have is that you can only have your speedometer in kilometers an hour. Now, for the people in Europe, that's good. They use kilometers an hour. But here where I am in the US, we don't use kilometers an hour, we use miles an hour. So, it would just be nice if the developer would have been bothered to add kilometers and miles an hour. So, another thing to note would be how absolutely hideous the cars look. I mean, look at that underbody, and the top is no better. They're just really ugly. Only the main cars that you drive have any semblance of looks. Oh, and right back there was another example of the zero-weight cars. They're like feathers. They just fly everywhere. And then you just go along on your merry way again, and the cars just don't handle well at all, which is extremely well shown in the next segment I'm going to show as well, which I will now. This is the time trial segment. You start up, and another blatantly obviously a stolen Escalade model, and you'll see that your car, especially here, bounces every which way, and you can't even see any bumps there, but it just bounces every which way for no apparent reason, spins like crazy. The handling is hideous. And just to check the Ocean City Racing description, because I think they brag about how their cars are so beautiful. Let's see. Key features. Here we go. Unreal Engine 3. Yes, it's powered by it, but if you can't make a game that looks good with your textures, the engine it's running on means absolutely nothing. Other examples would be the advanced driving physics. The most advanced driving physics ever seen in an indie game. I really hope that's not the best any indie game can do. I really do, because if it is, there's no hope for indie racing games at all. Then there's the open world city and environment. I'll show the open world mode later. It's the size of a shoebox. The open world is puny. It's constantly blocked off. The area you're seeing right there that I've been driving around, that one big circle it made, that's about it. There's that teeny bit across the bridge you saw, but the second bridge on that side leads to nothing. There's that little tunnel that leads to a second little shoebox. It's even smaller than that area across the bridge. It's about that size, so it's really pathetic. Then they talk about the free roam mode. Yes, it's decent. It's the best part of the game, pathetically enough. But it's still not very good. It still doesn't make the game really worth buying. Oh, and there was another example of a totally random glitch that you get a lot. Then, on their description, it talks about their time trial mode. To choose one of the many tracks available and achieve the fastest time. The trouble is, you can't actually select a track. You have to do the one it tells you to do. There's no selecting of tracks anywhere at all. None. Zero selection. Oh, I see I rage quit there. Not a shock. If you'd played this game, you'd rage quit too. Now, the free roam. Going on, there are 20 highly detailed vehicles to drive, ranging from sports cars, muscle cars, supercars, off-road vehicles, even a kart and quad bike can be driven. Well, they all drive about the same. They're absolutely hideous. They don't handle, not a one of them can handle, and especially with this car, you notice that it's so blatantly a Lamborghini model off of something, I don't know, some file sharing site, where they just took it, removed the Lamborghini badge off of the back of it, and called it their own car. It's just so ugly. And another thing is, if you notice, all of the scenery everywhere looks like it's just a box with a hideous texture on it. There is no form of texturing whatsoever. It really does look like it came off. Actually, the scenery looks like it came off a PS1, maybe a Nintendo 64. And to look at the cars that aren't drivable, you get the same feeling, because they're just boxes. The guy couldn't even be bothered to make the wheels round. They just aren't round wheels. They're cute, they're little octagon wheels, or pentagon wheels, depending. They're just ugly, like nobody's business. Now, going back to this, they say, Ocean City Racing allows players to progress through time trials and circuit races and allow them to unlock new cars and events along the way. Well, I'm not seeing that, in all honesty, but I didn't play enough of the race mode because of the hideous driving to find that out. Then, the soundtrack. It's okay. Probably the best part of the game is the soundtrack, in all honesty. That's the best point of the game, is the soundtrack. Then, other things they talk about. Oh. Nope, that's it. That's all they brag about. And, I mean, this game really is kind of lame beyond belief. It's just hard to imagine that they even sold it, that they had the guts to sell it and try and charge you $2.99 for it. It isn't worth even that small amount. I got it as part of a bundle on Green Man Gaming. They were running a big Easter sale, and they had like 5 games in a bundle for $1. So I got the bundle. I enjoy a couple of the other games from said bundle, so this was worth it for me for that really low price. I got a few laughs out of seeing how hideous it was, but really that's about all the enjoyment you're going to be getting out of this game. It's just a really bad game, by every sense of the word. There is very little value at all in this game. Just none whatsoever. Now, to talk about rating it, it's very difficult because of how bad it is. I would definitely say it's not worth buying at any price. If you see this in a bundle, disregard its price for the value of the bundle, because it is just junk. Do not buy this game. Don't. At all. Just don't buy it. It is a piece of junk. Don't buy it. But to rate it, I'd probably, given that there are a few laughs to be had here and there, I'd probably rate it a 2. It escapes 1, just a rating of 1 out of 10, just because you get a couple of laughs out of how absolutely hideous it is. So that's the only reason it escapes a 1 out of 10. So that's really all I can say about it. Don't buy it for any price. Thanks for, well, that was my review. I voted don't buy it at any price and gave it a 2 out of a 10. Thank you for watching my video review, and if you liked the video, like it, and if you would like to see more video reviews, gameplay, and assorted other types of videos, please subscribe to my channel. Thanks for watching. Goodbye!